Hey everyone, welcome to another recap chat. This is Irene, CBiz Media, Faith, Love, and Trends. And today we're going to cover the new 90-day show, Hunt for Love. I call it the Failed Love Club. For each person that they feature from the 90-day world, they show the past relationships that didn't work out for them. Another theme is everybody's basically in their 30s. I think the only odd man out is Tim. He's like in his 40s, maybe about 10 years plus older than some of the other castmates. And then they throw in and mix in some new people that we've never seen before. So it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different type of experiment. And it's supposed to be like a dating retreat. So they're supposed to be learning how to date. So I thought that was interesting as well. So let's start out with Chantel. She's there. 33. At this time, she felt like she should have been married with kids. Pedro, we know her history with him on the show. I think she did start out 90 Day, and then she had spin-off with the House Chantel. So different spin-offs. I was never really vibing that whole story to be following it that well as far as her getting her own spin-off. But of course, her and Pedro divorced. She's still trying to get her groove back, but she has not yet gotten her groove back when it comes to dating. I can tell her assets, and I'm not trying to be funny, but have enlarged a great deal. I could tell also she gained weight. To me, I feel like I know she did some work, and people have been saying that online. To me, she had a great shape. God already blessed her with a good shape. Why would she tamper with it? Why would she try to do excessive things? I hope that she doesn't have body dysmorphia. I do find that a lot of cast members on here have from 90 Day. And I do at some point want to kind of talk about that and pull some of those cast members' names. But it's like, why? You didn't have to do anything. You didn't have to make any changes to what God already gave you. But anyway, let's hit Tiffany. She's 33, and on her end, she actually had a pretty big weight loss and is doing successful with that. She says she's super single. We show her failed marriage. A kid came out of that relationship. And Chantel and Tiffany are the first to reach this retreat/resort. I'm not sure exactly where it is, but it looks like the set of Love in Paradise. Very beautiful, very tropical, right? Then Rob comes through. It's like meet the cast or whatever. He's 35. This is the third person where we see another failed marriage, and that's why I said this is should be called the Failed Love Club. Shows him and Sophie, of course. I am glad he cut his hair. He had nice hair, but I like the new look. I'm glad he cut his hair. He's actually still legally married, and he says he's going to try to stay off topic with that. He's going to try not to even get into that conversation. We'll see what happens with that. He receives a secret party invite for this masquerade party from this young lady who he thinks is very beautiful, the event coordinator. He's already lusting at the beginning from the event coordinator herself. He says, hey, this is some type of weird secret party. This is an Illuminati party. It's one of these 90-day masquerade parties. Usman, 35, also, he says he's African. He has big male assets, and women throw themselves at him. But why are you here? Why are you hunting for love, Usman, then? He says they love his soldier boy persona. They show his bad marriage with Kim. I'm not even sure if that was really a marriage. I know she left the ring there for some reason. Of course, in his culture as well, he can marry multiple women. So he was looking at that option because Kimberly was an older woman. She wasn't having any more kids. And the whole thing about him being into older women is going to be a common theme throughout this episode. He wants kids. But again, he said, can't do the older ladies this time or it's not going to happen. He doesn't want to see Big Ed or Angela, etc. at this thing. I agree, Usman. I do not want to see them. You are your own kind of trouble yourself, though you're talking about them. But yes, they are very annoying. Do not want to see them. But he's like, hey, this is not that kind of show. LOL. I hope not. Okay, so they're all checking out the resort and getting their rooms. It's a beautiful paradise, like I said. Masks and invites are also received. This is a masquerade party, so their faces can't be seen. Usman references the movie Eyes Wide Shut with Tom Cruise. People always reference that when they do masquerade parties and wear masks these days. It kind of just became a swingers dream on that movie. And he's like, if that's what's going to happen, if that's what's going down, he's up for that. The girls also wonder themselves who else will be there from the 90-day world. So nobody knows who anyone is yet, except for I think Tiffany and Chantel are the only two that have seen each other face to face. Even with Tim's mask on, we all know his voice. I know it's Tim right away. As soon as he talks, I'm sure we all know. And if you're there, you probably could tell by his demeanor, his stature, and the porcupine hair he has sticking up. That's his thing. Rob and Chantel meet, they're masked up. They got a little bit of a vibe there. Tim, again, he's 44. He meets a young lady there. She's not in the 90-day world, I don't think. She's only 24. She's making him feel old by sharing that information. He says what he's into is long, dark hair. That's his first feature that he really looks at. He's not looking at body. Hair is what attracts him, and he prefers it long and dark. They show again Tim's love fails as he gets revealed. It seems like each of them come up to the bar. They pull up their mask briefly. I think they set it up that way so we can see who they are. Then they go into the little flashbacks of all the love fails that they've had. He pep talks himself to pretend to like people, and he's on his way. I think he actually at that point was getting ready in the mirror, and he had to pep talk himself. I'm there, Tim. I get it. That's definitely would be an anxiety ridden event for me to try to do something like this. So to pretend to like people at major events where you have to mix and mingle, yeah, that's me. Not a huge Tim fan, but I get it. Courtney. Courtney's 34. She's seen as kind of like the dumb blonde, but she has a finance degree and says, I'm not that. But her attitude, the way she talks, the information she's sharing with me, she's dumb in some areas, though she may not be dumb in finance. Her ex lied about marriage and kids. He had them, and she thought he didn't. Her desires is just, hey, I think she has more than one ex, but that was her most recent experience. But she desires a man that won't lie, cheat, and pay her bills. Isn't that what all women want? As far as paying your bills, some people may think that's gold digger. I don't think so. I think your partner should pay your bills, and I think you should pay some of your own bills too. I think it should be within reason. If you're in married, then you guys figure out how the bill payment goes. But for the most part, I think your man should be at least be capable of paying some of your bills. She recognizes Usman through his mask, and they actually have a history. They kind of hooked up for briefly. Uh, Jen, her we call her. I'll say Jennifer, 32. She turns heads. She's the one that really turns heads in the room when she appears in her red dress, and they remind us of her last two failed relationships, which include Tim, who's also there. Colt, he's masked, he's 39. He's feeling like the wallflower among all of the hotties here in this group. They show his list of three failed relationships, I believe. He's recently divorced between homes and jobs, and he knows he's going to do something to embarrass himself. Um, he starts talking to a young lady about traveling and saying, I have traveled these different places, but I'm a travel alone. I'm a lone traveler. I think she may have expressed that she is as well. And she's not a part of the 90-day crew as far as I know. But yeah, Colt, I totally relate to being the wallflower. He calls himself a nerd, all those things. I totally get it. Like Tim just wouldn't fit into this setup of these hotties flirting and all that stuff. Drinking, I don't do that, just mostly because of my faith as well. But I'm up for a good party. I'm up for some good, clean fun. But Rob starts chatting up this young lady, Elise. Really big flirty vibes that they're having there. Courtney approaches Usman while he's masked, and she's like, "Well, I think I know you even through the mask." And he's like, "Well, I don't think so." He says he's pretending not to know her, and it's kind of like a joke. She's really offended by it though. Nick and Tanya, there are dating coaches, and they introduce themselves. Johanna is the event coordinator who gave Rob his invitation earlier, and Rob was like thinking she was so hot. Courtney says, oh, this is going to be like actually dating coaching and all of this and different experiences, and I have to learn. She said, that's too much work. I thought I was going to get white girl wasted, but I'm into the work because I'm bad at dating, so I'm up for it. They announced masks off. They separate everyone by gender and have them take their mask off. And Tim is shocked and disappointed to see his ex, Jennifer. Carlo, 38, he's a newcomer. He doesn't understand what's going on about the people from the 90-day show. He says he can see there's some connections with the people here, but he's not sure where that's all coming from. So these new people are totally in the dark, I guess. The cast makes them know each other, talk and catch up. Rob is kind of eyeing Jennifer. He doesn't really know her from the 90-day universe. Tim and Tiffany talk to the side. They're actually close friends, but he expresses concerns about his ex being there. And they kind of show some information about Tim not being able to sleep with her, with Jennifer, and it was a whole thing about him possibly being gay. So that kind of comes up as he's talking with Tiffany. Chris, 30, not a part of the universe, he shoots his shot on Jennifer. Tim cuts in and tries to, squash the issues before they can even start between him and his ex. He doesn't want it to be a big deal because he wants to really find love and all of that and just put this behind him. So he doesn't want any issues with her. So she kind of catches this guy Chris up and kind of bashes Tim a bit. Um he kind of, I don't think he bashed her, but he's just saying, uh we dated in the past, to just put it all out there, and he doesn't want it to be an issue. But she says she got some secrets on Tim in her back pocket. She says that, of course, after he walks away. Tim tells Chantel that she was a gold digger, that Jennifer actually was a gold digger. Um, and Chantel talks about her ex, Pedro. There's just kind of having a bad ex bash party at that moment. Usman talks to Courtney. He's like, I was joking. I knew who you were. But he lets us know they had fun, but they're not really um, here for each other when it comes to this dating experience. They had fun when they kind of played around with each other, but they're not here for each other right now. Courtney says he may be her number one. So these two are not on the same page at all. Courtney wants, he's saying he likes her, and she said, well, I want you to prove you like me. So he's playing mixed message games, Usman is, and Courtney's buying right into it. But you can tell, you can get a vibe when somebody's playing you. And the fact that he act like he didn't know you, that was your first red flag sign to step away, Miss Courtney. Chantel doesn't like Usman, and she's worried for Courtney. Her and Courtney are friends. Chantel's heard some stuff about Usman through social media, that he's a fake, he's a scammer, he plays games. I think we all can kind of see that from watching the show. Elise attaches to Rob really quickly. She's not in the 90-day universe. Rocky, as they mix and mingle, their masks are off. Rocky's another person that's out there that she kind of talked to with her mask on. Now that the masks are off, he kind of pulls Tiffany out and says, they're like, who do you guys like? He's like, hey, I like you. Would you go out with me? He's pouring on a lot of love. He's like, this might be the one. it's pretty early, but he's saying a lot of good things, at least to the producers, that he really wants to talk to Tiffany. So she's already got her a boo right now. Again, Elise attaches to Rob. She loves his toxic, manipulative swag. Uh, why would you love that? She can see all the flaggies right there, and she's like into it. She's trying to kiss him. He says, "All right, slow down. It's only been an hour, you know." He's digging her, but he's like, he when a guy tells you you're moving too fast, you are moving too fast, young lady. Elise will prove, I think, to have some issues as we go further. Looking at some of these previews, anyway. I think she says she has a big backside for a white girl. So if he kisses her, she'll show him the backside. So he's like, after they do this kiss, everybody's looking like, because the kiss is pretty involved and pretty deep, and everybody's like, this only been an hour and you guys are like making out. Then he's like, well, now that we kiss, let me see the backside. So she pulls up her bikini skirt thingy, and he's complimenting her backside, and she's like, yeah, it's pretty big, right? So again, it was a kiss for a peek of the booty. Anyway, that was kind of weird and a little bit fast and too much, and everybody took note what's going on with Rob and Elise, because they look like they've already attached. Colt and Jen hit it off. I'm not, no, not Colt. I'm sorry, Cole. Cole is a guy that's not in the universe. I don't think he's her type. She was looking at Rob, but thinks he could be an F boy now because of his quick makeout session with Elise. His quick hookup, I'll say. Chantel and Usman, they clash. They end up sitting together, and I think he says something like, "You know me?" She's like, "No, who are you? I don't know who you are. I've never met you." The newbies are confused and kind of shook up, and they feel tension between the cast. Usman knows Chantel has been talking stuff behind his back. But he's like, I know that you don't know me, but you know who I am, right? But Chantel keeps saying, I just don't know you. So he feels insulted. Rob drops off Elise to her little cabana. They're kissing. The smooch sounds are deafening. It's like, sorry guys, but they're all in the mic kissing it up, and my ears were hurting. Uh, Facts. So Tiffany gathers the castmates uh, into her room, and they kind of dish about what happened tonight. Colt talks about having someone that he can sleep with 7 times a day. I think that came out previously. And Tim kind of makes a joke about that. It makes a joke out of his weight, saying, somebody that wants to be physical 7 times a day, they should be thinner than that. That's not really, that's kind of bold bashing. Sorry, Tim, that wasn't cool. Then, Colt kind of does a bash on his sexuality, even though I think that was off to the side with the producers. So it's a little dish and bash fest between these two guys as well. Usman thinks Chantel is pretty. That comes out, but she already's hating on him. He feels judged by her and definitely believes he's a scammer. Uh, Basically, she's looking out for Courtney against Usman, but Usman has actually referenced multiple women thinking that they're beautiful, but yet Courtney still thinks that he's her number one. Colt referenced Usman's preference for older women, and he does feel like it could be some scamation there. And another thing he said about when it comes to women in age, Usman has that preference, and he makes a comment that all cats are gray in the dark. Think about it. Anyway, Jennifer's activities choices. They have these activities now for the next day. Flirting 101 or speed dating. And oh, with a twist. So they had to put their bathing suits on. We know that much. So I think she ends up picking the speed dating. She wanted to know which one Tim was doing because I think she wanted to stay away from him. but she does have a vendetta against him at this point. Usman, Rob, and Jennifer have breakfast and they chat. They end up all just sitting together, and Jennifer says Tim's talking bad. Tim talks bad about her. And Usman says he said that you're asking for money and you were basically a gold digger. She says no, he gave her gifts from time to time, but she was always independent. He wasn't depending. I'm sorry, she wasn't depending on him in that on that level. So the vendetta is on. Like I said, I mean, she starts saying, "Well, I have some tea about Tim if you want to put some more stuff out around this little retreat." And she's saying, I think somebody asked, did they sleep together? And she was like, no, they didn't sleep together. And it's like, why? And she said she thinks he's a freak. I say he probably does have some type of specific kinks. What was the tea? She said that Tim paid the stripper at the strip club to dance for her, and they were at a male strip club, and he was excited to watch. And then he also said him and his exes went to swingers, which I'm not sure what that means, but I'm assuming that he was a swinger or was into swinging. Maybe he's bi. I don't know. We were talking about 90 Day and Stevie and Maddie, and Stevie just will not say whether she's bisexual. Maybe he is bi, but he's a watcher. We can say he's a watcher. And then Rob talks about the whole idea of guys being watchers, and he says it's weird. He says he's not judging him, but that he's not the guy to want to watch his woman with another guy. When she leaves, Usman and Rob agree as she walks away that she's hot. The group does their dating with a twist. All the guys ask about Jennifer, and the girls are all asking about Rob. They're on their way to do the dating with a twist, and they're kind of separating them by gender. So I don't know if everybody was asking about Rob. It's another guy there that a really built black guy that his name's coming up. I think they were asking about him, but Elise has to bring up her new boo Rob. She talks him up. She says she's feeling him. Um, Elise, and then the guys are like, "Well, oh, Elise, she told everybody that she likes um to be sexual from the other end." I don't know if I'm saying that properly. I don't really want to say the word, or should I say the word? I don't know what the algorithm will do, but she's saying she likes to be intimate from the other end, I'll say. And all she was telling all the guys this, and everyone thinks it's weird. And then Rob also is like, wow, I didn't realize she was doing this. Maybe I shouldn't have let her kiss me and jump into this thing so fast. Now he's worried. Tim Shiz says she talks like a lot of guy stuff and she has a bro personality. Okay. But now Rob is worried. You move too fast. They do the hot tub speed dating, and Jennifer cringes that Tim is present at this thing that she's at. They got 2 minutes to do the speed dating. They're going to be actually be in a hot tub. It's not going to be your typical table talk speed dating. It said, be you, no fakery, tell your truth. You got 2 minutes to just really lay it down on the line. Just be genuine. So it's another young lady there with her drink, and she's like, "Oh, these cherries are huge." Um, it was just like weird banter and just I don't know what you call it, petty talk or something, or like I'm trying to think of the word, but it was like not really good conversation. People were just saying random stuff. Like, I don't think that they were really using their time that well. Someone did ask about core values. Someone asked about polygamy. And as they're doing their speed dating, the other people are waiting, and Elise starts to overspiel about she's insecure and all of these things. She wants to show that she may be an attractive, tall model-like person, but she's insecure and she has all these issues. And Jennifer says, I'm reading slut on her, It's like, if you're just a slut, you're a slut. Don't play insecure. If you're a slut, just be a slut and enjoy it. I don't feel like she was bashing her. I think she was just saying, just be true to who you really are. Chris and Chantel, I guess she's reading her pretty well. I think she's reading her right. She may be insecure, but I do think she has issues. And she also may be out there doing a little too much. Chris and Chantel, they talked for their 2 minutes, and he did say it was a long 2 minutes. I guess he wasn't into their conversation. Courtney ends up going to Flirting 101. I don't think they actually get there yet by the time this episode plays out, but she's still caught up on Usman and talking about him. And she's like, he tells all the other girls that they're beautiful too, but don't you get it, Courtney? You don't get it. Colt is over sweating. He's super sweating through his clothes. It's a very bad look. He should just take his clothes off. Sorry. You need some white tees, sir. Some white tees. I know that you're a bigger man and you might want to cover some things up, but you should get you some thin white tees. Something, because this is not working with the 5 shirts. Chantel and Edwin and Rob. And I missed the other young lady's name, sorry, but she's the one that said her cherry was big in her drink. They have small talk. That's what it is, small talk. So in the 2-minute speed dating, there was like a lot of small talk. Some important things came out. Chantel confesses to us that recently her girlfriend said, hey, I have feelings for you, and they kissed. So she's like in a state of confusion while she's sitting there in the middle of this speed dating, and she said she liked the kiss and it felt like her first kiss. Now she's wondering if she's into women. Okay, Chantel. When it comes to Chantel and Edwin, he's like the kind of large African American guy with the muscles and the tats and all that. She said Edwin's kind of a brick wall. She's kind of self-sabotaging herself by saying some of the things she's saying, but Edwin's like really quiet, and it seems like he's putting everything on her to talk. From the parts that I saw, I mean, it's only a few moments, segments, but for me, personality-wise, I feel like Edwin was bringing no personality, so I would not be really into getting to know him any further anyway. But that's just a little snippet. We don't know the full of everything as of yet when it comes to Edwin. But yeah, I thought it was an entertaining, especially if you're a 90 Day fan and you know these people. I thought it was entertaining and a little different. I feel like a connection with these people because I've been watching the show. If you haven't been watching, you may not feel anything and just be like whatever, but I thought it was fun, and I'm hoping that lessons are learned. I think it's better than Last Resort, I'll tell you that. I hope that Last Resort, honestly, I don't want to see that show. But anyway, that's Hunt for Love. Thoughts, comments, questions. Will you continue to watch? I'm not sure. I may continue to watch. I may continue to report. I may not. It depends. It all depends. But we'll love to hear your thoughts and take on it. As we talk more faith, love, and trends, we're going to be bringing you more faith, love, and trends. We're going to be bringing you something. If it's not this, we're going to be talking about some things. So stay tuned. Thank you for watching. Email me at cbiztv@yahoo.com if you would like to talk further, or drop something in the comments. Also go to cbiztvmedia.com to check us out on other platforms as well. All the best. Thanks for hanging out. God bless.